Dee here, how are we all doing? I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to be putting up one of my Amaryllis. So it was one of the ones that I unboxed in one of my previous videos. So this is the, don't know if you guys can see it because the sun is in a weird way. So this is called Nymph. I think you can see maybe slightly the picture of what it looks like. So it's time to get this potted up because hopefully this will give me blooms by Christmas. I'm hoping. As you can see, look at the roots on that bad boy. Like, this is a chunky bulb. Like, oh my god, I am so impressed with this because you don't normally get bulbs this big. So I am just gonna, this paper stuff is coming away, so I might as well just take it off because that will just rot. And then some of these roots are rotten too, so I'm just gonna take those off. And then I think, actually, I might get my snips quickly. Back here, my little snippies, and then I'm just gonna cut off, nope, this isn't gonna work, is it? Oh, maybe. Just all these kind of like dead stringy roots because they're just gonna rot in the medium anyway. So any bits that are kind of like stringy like that, as you can see, that's where it's dead. So I'm not cutting into the good roots, I'm just cutting off, like I'm cutting into the dead to get rid of some of those. So you don't really have to do this, it's just I saw it and I was like, oh, let's just get rid of some of those. So some of them you can tell are actually like fully dead all the way up. And I just feel like it might help the Amaryllis out a little bit. I do it, you know, with my orchids and stuff, so why not do it with a bulb like this? So yeah, I think that's majority of it done. This one looks like it needs a little, there you go. And the rest I'm just gonna leave. This is what you have. So yeah, if some of that papery skin comes off, don't worry, it is normal, it does come off. So like this as well, it could come off. It doesn't have to, but if it is coming off, it's very, just pull it off like that. And then you're left with a bit of a cleaner bulb. So there we go, and again on the top, just gonna take some of it off. Not that there's a lot that's coming off, only a little bit. Right, so yeah, we've got this. So I have my terracotta pot, so this looks like it's about the right size. So you want to have at least like, I can't tell, am I in camera? I need to see my my viewfinder because otherwise I can't actually see on my camera screen. So yeah, you want to have at least a 1 inch kind of gap between the bulb and the planter. They do like to be quite snug in their pots. So you don't want to pot them in something that's too big. So I have some garden soil out here. So just some garden compost. I'm going to be adding some perlite to just so it's not so heavy. If I can get the perlite out. So I'm actually going to add quite a bit of perlite because I'm not sure how much soil I actually put in there. And if it's too much perlite, I can just add more soil to like, oh, I should always wear a mask when I do this and I never do. It's very bad. Perlite is not good for your health. But yeah, if there's too much perlite, I can just add more soil and make a bigger batch of soil, and then that will like negate the problem, if that makes sense. But you don't want your soil to be stodgy, so you do want to have some aeration in it, and then this has some nutrients in it as well that will help the Amaryllis grow and feed the bulb for next year's blooms, hopefully, or whenever, you know, they decide to bloom, because they do decide to bloom in the most random see what I mean? That's the perlite dust getting in my throat. But yeah, they do decide to bloom whenever the hell they want, to be honest. So I had one blooming this summer. And now it's in its dormancy, so I definitely won't be getting blooms for Christmas. So they are just a funny bulb, but I do love them and they have gorgeous flowers. So I think I'm getting on a bit of an Amaryllis hype at the moment because I have at least, so I have my last year's bulbs, but they're not growing very well because, like I said, they already bloomed in the summer, so they're kind of doing their dormancy thing. And I bought 2 more, so I've got this one, and then there are two more varieties that I've seen that I really want to get. So yeah, I'm becoming a bit Amaryllis like mad. So I've just mixed that up. So this is what my soil looks like. So it's got some good aeration, and then I'm just gonna start filling this up. Are you guys growing Amaryllis? Have you ever grown Amaryllis? And if you haven't, why do you not want to grow them? Because I feel like they are gorgeous. Obviously everyone, you know, has differing opinions, but you should try. I feel like people that haven't tried it should give it a try. They're, again, a really easy thing. A lot of people treat these as kind of like annuals, so they'll grow them for Christmas and then they'll chuck them away, which I feel like, oh my god, that's crazy, because they're not cheap bulbs. And like, the longer you keep them, the bigger they get, the more blooms you get, but people literally will just throw them away after Christmas or whenever they've bloomed, and then they'll start again the next year. So that's just insane to me, but you know, people do what they do. Right, so I filled about halfway up, and I'm going to see how my roots are going to fit in here. Oh, alright, need to make a little bit of a well so these roots can get down in there. Hello, please. Right, so you want to put your Amaryllis bulb about halfway up the bulb. So you don't want to bury the bulb, you want it halfway up. So at least that much. So I've still got quite a lot of soil to fill in, but at least I know where my bulb is kind of sitting. And then I can get these roots covered as well. And then again, just give it a shake so the stuff is getting around those roots. And I'm going to try and keep this bulb in the middle because it really annoys me when they're not in the middle. And then I will need to see if I have a stake. So these will need staking when they bloom because those flower heads are very heavy and they will topple over. I need some water. Oh, that perlite dust just gets right in your throat. Not good, not good. Okay, so I'm just gonna go a little bit more. And this is moist soil, so I don't actually need to water this Amaryllis. I will water it the next time when it's dry. So when I know that this soil is dry. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a shake. Again, make sure, I'm gonna turn my spoon backwards. I'm just gonna kind of poke a little bit just to fill in any of those air gaps and make sure that it's all around the roots. And then I can see where the soil's kind of falling in a little bit and I can add a little bit more. Just like so. Okay, again, give it a nice little shake. Make sure it's in there. So that's how I have planted up my bulb, as you can see. Majority of it is exposed. So I'm just gonna move that out of the way. God, I should have cut my nails before I did this. So that's how your bulb is going to be. And I feel like, is this a bit wonky or is that me? A bit wonky? Are you a bit wonky? Yeah. Yeah, it'll be alright, it'll be alright. Actually, maybe a little titty bit more on this side. Just like that. Okay, so you could just leave it like that and add a stake once you see it start to grow. So when it starts to grow, it can grow in two different ways. If I can grab my ones, if they want to move. Hello. So I have two already that I've potted up. So they can start growing like this. So they start growing their leaves. And as you can see, the flower spike is just about starting, if you can see that there. So this little nubbin is the flower spike starting. Or you can have it where they grow like this. So the flower spike is literally just starting to come out first instead, and then the leaves will come out afterwards. So don't freak out if your Amaryllis are like growing differently, like so one's got leaves and one's not, or one's, you know, you just see the spiky thing. That's just how they grow. But when that starts growing, so as you can see the leaves, they get big, so they will need a support. So I'm not going to put the support in yet, I'm going to wait until the leaves start, but I will just literally, it'll be a stick with like a hoop, and I'll put that, like feed it through so that it can stay upright. But you could, like I said, you could just leave it plain like this, but because Christmas is coming up, I want to make it a little bit more pretty. Like those ones, I was just in a hurry to get them started, so I literally just potted them up straight away. I kind of regret doing that now because last year I did a gorgeous container with like all the Amaryllis and they looked gorgeous, but I kind of missed the ship with that one, so they kind of have to stay in that ugly pot. But hopefully I can hide that behind some like Christmas foliage or something, and then we can just look for the blooms. So I have this like preserved, what is this, reindeer moss or something. It is a bright green colour, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to kind of place this around the bulb, and when I do water this, I'm going to water it from the bottom so that it can wick the moisture up. So it's just coming out in nice pieces. I kind of wish this was a darker colour, but this is the only colour I have at the moment, so we're just going to go with this one. Oh, this smells funny. This smells a bit funny. It's probably the dye from the moss. So I'm just going to maybe a little bit more on this side. So I have these kind of like pine cones as well that I'm just going to kind of stick in here as a little bit of extra decoration. So just going to do it kind of different intervals. I wish I had my little berries. I've got some little berries somewhere. That's probably with all of my Christmas stuff upstairs. So yeah, I'm just kind of looking for ones that have a little bit of a stem, so I can just kind of put the stem in the soil so it will stick a little better. So I'm just going to do a few groupings. I'm probably going to foster this a lot. Not liking that very much. Like that. I'm going to come around here with a couple. And then that. And then maybe another. I thought I had one with a 3, but I don't. Oh, I do. Here, another 3. Oh, no. Just like so. Maybe another. Yeah, we'll do 3. And a 3. Maybe 1. 2. Maybe a 5 over here. I don't know. You can faff with this as much as you want, but that's kind of like what I have done. I don't know, maybe I like it without these ones. And maybe if I move these ones over here, like there. Oh, like this. There, like that. Oh, yeah, there. I think that kind of looks better. So this is kind of the end product. I don't know if you guys, can you see it? I'll get a close up so you guys can see. And then I'm just going to put that in like a warm, semi-sunny position. Again, it doesn't need to be watered. I will be able to just pull this moss off and stick my finger in the soil to see when it is dry. Because normally, obviously, in terracotta, if I was watering this, the terracotta would get moist. This will probably start to wick away the moisture from the soil. So I'd probably say in about a week, I'd probably have to give this some water, depending on how warm it gets in here. So yeah, that's literally all you have to do. I'm getting blinded by a wind, like the sun that's reflecting off of a window right in my eyeball. Oh my god. It's that time of day that we're at right now. The end of the day, so it means it's time to stop filming. Okay, well, I'm blinded. So, aftercare of Amaryllis, you literally just keep the foliage going, so you just water it when it's dry. If you live in a warm climate, like in the summer, if it's nice and warm outside, you can plant them outside, just let them grow. And then you just start the procedure in about September. You'll take them out, you'll let them dry, let the foliage die down, so keep them somewhere dark and cool so the foliage dies down, and then you give it a dormancy. So September, October, November, I think like a 3-month dormancy period, and then you just take them out of that dark place, repot them, and then put them back in a sunny, warm position, and they theoretically should grow again. So it sounds easy. It's not always easy to get them to rebloom when you want, because again, these bulbs just do whatever they want whenever they want, you know? So regardless of whenever they bloom, they are gorgeous blooms, and I think they're definitely worth keeping and having around. So I'm gonna go place this, I'm not sure where, somewhere, and be blinded by the light. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you guys soon with another one. Bye!